Welcome to What the FFF, a show inspired by the FabFitFun Community, where we sit down with experts from our team, founders, and other really fun guests to chat about all things beauty, fashion, fitness, home, and wellness. I'm Angela. I'm the head of talent acquisition here at FabFitFun, and we have a pretty amazing episode for you guys today, speaking with Hamish, the creative director from Le Specs, one of my favorite brands, and a new brand in our summer box. Reminder, if you want a closer look at the products that we're speaking about, head to our YouTube channel. And if you're not a FabFitFun member yet, don't worry, we will have a special code for you at the end. Enjoy the episode. Hey everyone, so excited. We have Hamish here from the brand Le Specs. I'm one of your hosts, Angela, the head of talent acquisition here at FabFitFun. We also have Steb, who will be chiming in. We're excited to have you, Steb.
I'm the peanut gallery back here.
We got the peanut gallery, but most important, we have Hamish. Hamish, introduce yourself.
Thank you. Thanks, Angela. I'm Hamish Tame, creative director of Le Specs. We are an eyewear brand based out of Sydney, Australia, and
not France.
Not French.
I made that mistake, guys. Don't be like me.
It's chic, but it's not French. And we're here in LA at the moment.
Wait, so we're so excited to have, I thought you guys were just LA based, popping in to do the podcast, but no, true Australian brand with Australian people. Where in Australia?
We're based sort of like Sydney near Bondi Beach, so kind of right in the thick of
That's
Sydney,
so cool.
Yeah, which is just, I mean, it's quite similar in a sense, I suppose, to LA.
Yeah.
Like in our sensibility, but yeah, it's good fun.
Okay, we're going to have an exciting conversation because I was really excited about the brand. Very chic, very iconic, first time in the FabFitFun box. But I want to get to know a little bit more about you before we go into the brand, the products that are in the box. What does a creative director do, from if our audience doesn't know?
We
and like, how did you even get into
directors,
it? It's like
we as creative. It is kind of one of those things where, and I hate, like, you know, when people go, "Oh, no day ever looks the same," or whatever. But it is a pretty varied job. But I suppose essentially it is managing and designing sort of a brand across the design, the marketing, the e-com, sort of all of the creative elements that make us unique and different and everything. So, I mean, we've got quite a big team.
Really?
Now,
How big?
In the business, there's about 100 of us. In the creative team, there is probably sort of across design, marketing, and e-com, there's probably 15 or so.
Wow,
so
that's like a fairly good size.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good size. Everyone's worked together for a long time.
I was going to ask, how long have you worked there?
21 years.
21
years? Like, are you even 21? Like,
cow.
Should we stop this and read for your skincare routine? Like,
I was 18 when I started. I started as the marketing intern there.
I'm shook. Like,
21 years is such a long time. That's incredible.
I know.
Wow.
I feel like...
I work in HR and recruiting, so from my perspective,
if you need any tips in HR, you know, it's a family-owned business. I started there as the marketing intern, and
so are you in the Are you like a cousin or
no? I just worked for free for 6 months.
Right on.
They basically couldn't get rid of me. So I was like the annoying kid that just kind of was like, what else is happening over here? What can I do that
what other roles have you had?
I worked in marketing and PR for probably 2 or 3 years, and then I was constantly over at the design team kind of going like, oh, that's cool. But I mean, this is also like early noughties, so we're not talking about like when I tell you some of the references that I thought were cool probably aren't so cool now. But I was always over at the design team kind of going, oh, that's cool, but I would have loved it in white or sort of something really horrific.
My opinion, I would have been
and so I got the chance one year to kind of help to work on some design stuff for Le Specs, and there was this one, it was kind of horrific in hindsight, but really cool at the time. I just wanted to wear stuff. I wanted to make stuff just to kind of take home and wear on weekends so I could feel like a 20-year-old kid that had his own pair of sunglasses.
Like, why else do we have a job?
Exactly. Yeah. And so it was sort of like an oversized sort of square style with like an 80s pattern temple.
Nice.
And in the first year, it sold like 10 times the amount of anything we had ever sold. And you would go to every music festival and
that's so cool.
Everyone would have it on with like a cutout singlet or whatever.
Did you feel like
and
so
proud?
Like,
yeah, but I suppose it probably was that feeling of not really knowing what where you're like, I didn't necessarily mean to do this.
Yeah.
I just kind
I'm
of
sure
like...
Mark Zuckerberg felt the same way.
Was it a little bit like beginner's luck, it kind of felt like, or...
Yeah, well, exactly that, because then sort of at that point, Rodney, who's the owner of our business, he was like, oh, I want you to work in design now, and what will you do next? And I was like, I didn't mean to do that.
You're like, okay. Like, did you feel like imposter syndrome almost?
Totally. I mean, I only got over that probably 4 years ago. So
out of your 21 years.
Yeah, it was like 17 years or whatever.
So everyone's like, not too late.
Yeah, exactly. Like when people are like, oh, I feel like I have imposter syndrome, you're like, welcome to the club. But I mean, not anymore. I'm not in that club anymore because I just got a good therapist.
From an HR perspective, that is the best advice.
I mean, I can say what I do for work now. I used to just say to people, I work for a sunglass company. And
but no, you're the creative director, and you've had such a mark on
it.
And like I've been at FabFitFun for 7.5 years, and
I mean that's a good
and
stint.
like people think that's a long time.
It is a long time.
And people like
no, now it's like I'm triple that.
I mean, I've had it I've worked in a lot of other places, and this is it's been such a fun journey. But people ask me all the time, like, you know, why have you stayed so long, or like what's been a part of your journey, like what makes it special and stand out that you want to stay. And like for you, like I feel like there has to be some aspects of either the people you work with, like what you're doing. And I always say it's like the product and the people. What would you say?
That's a nice concise way of saying it as well. For me, it kind of is that, right? Like I work with the best team of people. Like we have a lot of us, I would say the average tenure at Sunshades or like at Lespex is around probably 8 or 9 years. So it's like, it's just, we've worked together for a long time, but it's still very much a young business. And I think it's like when you work for we're a big business, but we're essentially a small business when you kind of compare us to the big international brands that are out there. So I think it means that like we can come up with a fun idea and go, hey, what about if we did such and such? And there's not a board of directors to sign off on stuff or red tape or whatever. So like even when we did we did a collaboration with a designer, Adam Selman, probably sort of 8 or so years ago. And we were just like, I think this would be cool to make like a slimline cat's eye or whatever. And it was like, Rod was like, yeah, go for it. And there's not, I think that thing of like, it feels creative and exciting and you get to execute stuff that
it's
is
very like
different
innovative,
and
entrepreneurial.
Yeah. And it's kind of like
too.
the word innovative always makes me feel weird because that makes me like it, but I suppose like it is like it's all like we have to be different to what else is going on out there to kind of make an impact. And
it's like what they say, like innovate or die.
Totally. And I think even like, I mean, we've just spent 3 weeks in the US across like Palm Beach and Texas
work,
and New York.
Pleasure, both.
All work. But I mean, it's work, but it's kind of like,
it's fun.
Like it's enjoyable. And it's that thing of, I haven't been here since before COVID, so 5 years, just because life kind of got away and we were locked down for 2 years and all of that. So being back here and being like, oh my God, there's so much opportunity, and like seeing people wearing the product on the street and kind of going into stores and they know the brand and
were
they
you
wear them.
surprised about that? Because I know you mentioned that like before in our pre-conversation, because I was like, oh my God, Lespex is so iconic. You're like, seeing people wear it on the street, like kind of
it's
surprised.
Wild. Like Emma, who I'm traveling with, is like, we're constantly like, oh my God, there's someone in Earhart or there's someone in like Out of Love and I mean, it's cool because it's a lot of people now. To me, it feels like a lot of people. So,
Well, I would say with FabFitFun, we are so lucky and excited to have Lespex as a first-time brand in the box. We have like the 2 sunglasses over here. We have is it the Velodrome?
Which is like the black cat's eye one,
and then the Dynamite sunglasses and tobacco.
And the naming part of it is always fun.
Yeah, should we show them
too? Of course, yeah.
We'll get to that, and then we'll talk more about. Okay, so let's see. Bring this so everyone
is this the
can
right
actually...
adjustment here?
Yes, very good. All right, so this is
This is Velodrome.
Seb, are you jealous that you don't get to
A
try
little
these
bit.
on?
I mean,
So I picked these in my box
Uh-huh.
for customization 1, which is exciting because I feel with what our members pay for one box is like the value.
Yeah.
Like these are so chic and
They're
nice.
so nice.
And this is and that's kind of what the brand is about, right? Designing something that's very feeling, looking, luxe and designer,
Yeah.
but at an affordable price.
And I think it's sort of like, how do you, like, for me, I mean, I grew up in a town 2 hours north of Sydney, so the burbs, like by the beach kind of thing. And it's sort of like I understand I get fashion. You can, like, we're in all of the best stores in the world and we've got great celebrities and whatever. And like, I think that there's a nice thing about Le Specs that you can have them, like, it's good value for money and they're affordable, so you can have them as a second pair, but equally, like,
and
sort
when
of
you
Sevi-
inevitably lose a pair.
yeah, like you can lose a pair as well.
Yeah,
like,
but
so like
that's-
you don't like
Stops
I mean,
me
it
from
kind
getting
of-
a lot of sunglasses.
sure.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause
and-
easy come, easy go.
But it's still like, it can still be like a bigger purchase, right, than a pair
Yeah.
of sort of like your high street stuff. So it's like they need to feel good quality. They need to have a good warranty with them. They need to kind of do all of the things that you would want from a pair of luxury sunglasses or sort of top end sunglasses, that we can kind of build all of that stuff into them and make
Yeah.
them
That's great.
like it feels like a luxury brand, because
That's so special.
It has, they're like, they are like, and it is that thing, like it should feel special. It shouldn't just be
Yeah.
like, oh great, we can kind of churn and burn customers or
Yeah,
whatever.
because I had gotten my first pair of the Earharts. It was 2 or 3 years ago, and I remember I just didn't really have like a big sunglass budget. I would normally just get them
Yeah.
off of Amazon, and
Me
just
too.
like, I saw someone at a pool party. I was like, oh my god, where did you get those sunglasses? Like, that was just such a beautiful style, very chic, all black. She's like, this brand, Le Specs, Earhart. This is Meghan Markle's like favorite. She
Yeah,
was
that
like
was a big
recently
time
at the
for us.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
That
like,
was-
oh my god, they're probably so expensive. I was at a party that like should not have been, like, very
Yeah.
fancy people. I was like, oh no, thinking they were going to be
Like
$300,
$300, yeah. crazy,
but it's just like, it felt so exciting that I got to be like, no, actually, I can afford
like,
these.
yeah, and
like,
it's like, I mean, it's that thing of like, they should feel special, and like,
Yeah.
it's kind of, I'm always blown away by, I mean, we forever get like these incredible like celebrities or models or influencers or whatever wearing stuff, and it continues to kind of, I'm always like, God, is this the last time that anyone will ever wear? Like, I feel like I'm forever like,
Yeah.
kind of, but it's wild that.
were
and I
you
think
guys
it's-
surprised, like, when did Megan just
we
organically
knew-
wear them?
We knew that she had them. She had her team wrote to us and requested. It came from sort of, I mean, it was when she was a royal.
Yeah.
And,
That's like even more big a big deal. Like, thankfully she could still afford them now as not a royal.
and she was living in like the UK, and so it came on like the royal letterheads and everything of like whatever
Oh,
to
wow.
like request like such and such, and so we sent her a few styles, and she has worn a few different styles over time, but the Earhart one has been sort of the most popular. And I mean, you kind of, people will buy stuff off the website, or sometimes you'll be gifting people or whatever, but you never really know if they'll wear them or not. Or like,
Yeah.
we've had people like Elton John buy a pair from the website, and then his team get in touch to be like, hey, do you mind if we could pay for express shipping? And I was like, you can have it all.
Yeah.
Wait, that isn't like Sir Elton John.
Sir
I was just
Elton,
like,
yeah.
yeah, I wanted to get some customized shipping. He's like, like, can we
but
hand
so,
deliver
like,
these?
it's
Like,
crazy that like, I don't, there's so many different eyes on the brand throughout the world that
Yeah.
you never kind of expect that.
no. What are the other popular styles besides like the Earhart? Would you say, is there other
The
ones
Earhart,
that are?
I would say there's two at the moment that are really popular, but in saying that, the Velodrome one is relatively new for us, and it's kind of it's sort of creeping up and into sort of the top few silhouettes that we've got.
Because smaller is in. At least
Yeah.
it was in. Maybe not.
No, it's definitely
Still.
like small is kind of in our one of it. So it's sort of Earhart for more of like a bigger classic look, and we do have a little sort of narrow style called Outer Love, which is quite similar, just a slightly more oval version of the Dynamite ones. And I would say they're our two biggest styles. And so they come in a bunch of colors, and like each season you can kind of do some fun stuff to colors and whatnot. But I feel like the nice thing about these ones, the Velodromes, is that they kind of are probably somewhere in between those. Like, it's not a huge oversized style, but it's also kind of like if you have been wearing oversized
because I do
years,
like big, and the small
it's
makes
kind of like
me
it's sort
nervous,
of like
but this is
it's a bit
nice.
like, you know, when you have a favorite pair of jeans and you're kind of used to wearing skinny or baggy or whatever, and it's to go to the opposite feels a bit like,
For sure.
or like like all of a sudden you're like, oh,
Yeah.
these are quite like skinny for, like, all of a sudden everyone can see their legs, or like
You
all
got
of
to
a
ease
sudden it's all
yourself
like,
into there.
it's kind of like, I think about it in the same way for eyewear, that if you've been wearing big, like, rather than like, I mean, there's people out there that want to just mix it up all the time, but if you know that you've got a particular style that suits you, you can kind of like maybe over the period of a couple of years or seasons or whatever, like kind of go into like a velodrome mid-size and then maybe move into something smaller.
So you got
or
some
whatever.
gateway glasses as well.
Exactly.
Gateway glasses. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And there's also men's, women's, and unisex.
Yeah, we. I mean, in the US, our business is mostly women's. In Australia, our business is 50-50 men's and women's, and I think that's just because sort of our fashion styles are what have sort of caught the attention of like customers in the US and sort of the press and whatever. But it's sort of like something like.
These are technically
I need to learn how to
unisex.
get like. I should have done something more chic.
Come on, creative
You're
director.
learning. It's your first podcast. Like,
Like these are definitely a unisex
oh, okay, that's
style.
like so you.
And I feel like what is kind of, because I just noticed that you did something as someone who is normally a big sunglass wearer, that I can give you the best tip.
Okay.
And
Oh my God.
I was telling a friend this a few weeks ago, and so she was like, small sunglasses just don't look good on me. And I was like, you have them rammed so far up your face. I was like,
Okay.
just give it 3 mil. I was like,
Oh, yeah,
just
because like,
kind
that
of
looks
like,
so much cooler.
like not down
at least
here,
on you.
like not so that your eyes are over the top, but if you just kind of like give it a few millimeters like off your forehead, all of a sudden it kind of feels chic and nice, but also you don't feel obnoxious where you kind of like
That is
doing that.
wild.
So I feel like
Thank you for this
instantly,
tip.
yeah, you've got like now that will kind of help you with your gateway glasses.
Yeah, like do you have any other tips of like, because they say like with your face shape, there's like different type, because you guys have all different types of styles, colors.
Totally. I mean, for us, like, I mean, we have a good international business, and I think you have to be conscious of sort of face shapes and sizes and what colors look good on what complexions and all of that jazz. But I think there's kind of like a traditional rule, which I think is good as a guide, but I don't think that you need to live by it necessarily. That if you have a round face, a round sunglass is going to exaggerate your round face. So it's kind of like if you have a round face, like something like this, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like more of like a slightly square or rectangle shape will kind of like just draw out the proportions. Equally, sort of if you've got quite an angular face or kind of like a heart-shaped face, sometimes like anything that's like really swoopy or pointy or whatever will kind of like exaggerate it.
Yeah.
But I mean, my thing is like, even still, I like to go into a store and like, or the showroom or whatever, and just like, I try on as many as possible and kind of see what works for you.
Well, it's nice too at the price point that you feel like you can experiment with different styles that maybe you don't want to spend $200 to $300 plus to invest in.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's just getting your FabFitFun box and being able to get
To get
these.
both.
For sure.
Get 2 boxes.
Why not get both? Like, get the Earhart,
Swap
get
with
3.
your best friend.
Exactly. You have one for your car, one for your purse. Like,
yeah. So I think there's that thing of like, even if you know that you're a black sunglass person, you could kind of do a few different silhouettes in black, right? So that you still have like no-brainer pieces that you can pick up each morning or whatever as you walk out of the house. Or you can kind of know that if you're off to like a fancy cocktail party or a festival or whatever, you can also kind of like have fun with it and fully outfit it.
That's what I was actually going to bring up, because it's not like you're, run-of-the-mill sunglass. You can wear these to the beach, but also like a chic event, like a very like upscale event.
Yeah, you can, and I mean, when it comes then to the lenses for if you're at the beach, it's like both of these guys are category 3 lenses. They offer the maximum sun protection, so you don't have to worry about it from that point of view. But
Is that what
very
category
nice.
3 means? The maximum sun protection?
yeah, I mean, it actually there's a category 4, but it doesn't pass the standards because it's too dark. So category 3 is the maximum
amount of like
sort of
UV
basically
blockage.
It's blocking like it's something like 99.9% of UV rays.
Wow.
So it also just means that like if it's a bright day outside, you're going to be less squinty kind of by putting them on. Whereas it goes down to category. I mean, that's just
I didn't know
but
that.
these are
nerdy
like,
eyewear stuff.
I hope everyone's been taking their notes. Like, this is like, no, this is
Now
like
that
good
I've
to
given
know.
everyone a science lesson of
Like, this is why they've tuned in, Hamish. Like, they're excited. And then speaking of the brand, like, do you have a dream collaboration, or curious, like, what's next for you guys? Like, you know, after doing something very exclusive like FabFitFun.
I mean, I would love to do it again next year.
I'll get our merchandising team on the line. I'm going to do like what you did from like, I work in like a totally different department and be like, I think there's something here for something else.
Yeah,
like,
totally. I don't know that there's a dream brand necessarily like to collaborate with, because I just like to work with nice people. Like, and I know that nice is such a blah word, but I think just like we enjoyed like all of the collabs that we've
We
done.
like the word nice at
Oh, okay.
FabFitFun.
We do like
okay,
the
so
word
nice
nice,
is
yeah.
a great word.
Yeah.
But I think
He just called our nice word blah.
I'll come here next year and you'll have it'll be like, this box just got a great tan.
Hilarious.
I think it's like if some like I just enjoyed like we're about to drop a collab with a really like the most incredible girl based out of LA. She's got a jewelry brand called Ian Charms. And like it's like she is just a true creative gem. And
I love that.
she's like it's kind of like these early noughties reference. Like you can kind of imagine the types of cool celebs or whatever that will wear it, because it's pretty wild and different. But I think I don't know that I've got a list of who I would like to work with. It's just like if someone's a decent person and they're really creative and like you get along with them, like I think that's like that's who I would want to work with. Like so you can kind of do cool stuff together and like do something different, right? Like it kind of there's so much eyewear out there.
Truly.
It's like how do you kind of like cut
stand
through
out.
all of that noise and stand out?
Yeah, and like with that, like what trends are you seeing? Like are you seeing certain, I know we talked about sizes, but like shapes or different colors that are having a moment?
There's definitely trends that are having a moment, but I think particularly in sort of the like maybe the last 5 to 10 years, I think particularly 5 years, social media has changed. Like it used to be like this is the trend and everyone is wearing rimless or oversized or whatever, but I think people are kind of like finding their people now and kind of going like, you know what, I'm more of like a bohemian whatever. Yeah. But I think overall in terms of trend, there's definitely still like there's that piece around sort of a narrow kind of more sort of like 90s Y2K sort of frame and sort of like almost like gateway versions of that as well. So it doesn't have to be ultra narrow, but it kind of gives you that like chic Cindy Crawford kind of vibe from.
And who doesn't want that?
Exactly. I mean, exactly. So that's definitely a thing that is trending and sort of a look that is trending. And sort of alongside of that, what we are seeing is like a rimless silhouette. So we've had Hailey and Justin Bieber sort of in a shape that we've got.
No big deal.
People I've never heard of in my life.
Yeah. I mean, we've been desperately looking for them in LA and haven't found them yet. So I haven't heard of them. I've not seen them yet.
Have you tried Erewhon?
We've been there. We've done that. I was like, that was the first thing I did. And I was like,
did you like it?
It was delicious. It was like a strawberry jam kind of thing.
Yes, it's very refreshing.
It was like wildly expensive when you convert that to Australian dollars.
That's
true. When you convert it to American dollars, it's expensive.
But that's sort of like, I suppose in that vein of like sort of like early noughties Y2K trends, like there is like a rimless kind of thing happening. But I would say as well, like that's kind of like, they are sometimes in a sense niche trends where I think something like an Earhart or a Velodrome is like they're good trend, like they're fashionable,
Classics.
they're like classic fashion sunglasses, like they're a staple in your wardrobe. And I think what's nice about them is that you don't have to think of like once you have a pair of them, you don't have to think, oh, does this work with my outfit? Does what will...
Yeah, I would say the Earharts go with me everywhere.
Yeah, like what will the other people at school or the mums at school or whatever,
So
or
true.
think, is it is it a bit too Larry or whatever? It's just it's a no-brainer where you can just pop them on each day and head out.
And so with, FabFitFun, we are in our summer box season heading into summer, and you guys in Australia, you have...
We're going into autumn.
You're going into
fall. Sorry, you guys call it fall.
Same, but different.
We know what you mean.
So I know that you've already clearly done your guys' summer, but we're still getting in the summer vibe. So I want to ask you a few questions just about summer, getting to know you. Okay, so with summer, what has been your go-to summer cocktail or mocktail?
I really just like a spicy margarita.
Yes, go.
Can't go wrong.
But there are a couple of places that I've been to in Sydney recently where they were too spicy, and I'm good with spice. So now I'm a little bit cautious and how spicy they are.
I'm very sensitive to spice,
a spicy
so I'd be
margarita.
unwell.
Yeah.
Do you ever make them at home?
Yes, I like to kind of get it with the jalapeno juice and
Have you gotten
brine
any
or
good
whatever.
ones in LA?
I'll make you one.
Oh yeah, after this.
I got you.
Yeah, perfect.
To celebrate.
What we have had one. Where did we have a really nice pinky kind of one the other day?
Like a prickly pear?
It was kind of we went to we had a drink with Adam Selman in downtown LA at a place called Death & Co, which sounds like the worst place.
It's tell us more.
A really cool ultra dark cocktail bar, and they had the best spicy margarita.
Okay,
It wasn't
so
exactly.
we might have to go.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Next team event.
Ready.
We went at 6 o'clock in the night, so it was still bright outside, and you kind of go into almost this dark kind of maze where your eyes are kind of adjusting, so you actually don't really know where
What's
you are as the
like-
person's leading you through, but it was delicious.
Okay, so we're gonna have
so
to
that was good.
adding that to my list. Favorite vacation spot, and I'll be curious from the Australian side of it.
I mean, there's a lot of good places in Australia, but I think European summer of an Italian or Greece kind of coast. That's where we're going this year for a Greek island kind of.
I love that
vibe. I just think it's
is that the Mykonos
we are not
that
going
basic?
to Mykonos. No, I mean I love.
I've never
Mykonos.
been, so
it's so much fun.
Yeah.
We're going to sort of a smaller island called Skopelos this year, which
very fun.
it's where they film Mamma Mia, so I'm so excited.
Oh my god, I love Mamma Mia. It's one of my favorites.
So I can recreate basically.
Which, by the way, we'll have to follow you on Instagram, all of us, so we can see all of that.
My Mamma Mia experience in Greece. Yeah.
And then lastly, any favorite ice cream color? I know ice cream color. Oh my goodness. Now because I'm thinking about Mamma Mia, but ice cream flavor.
Is choc mint a thing here?
Mint chocolate chip.
Yeah, is that a nice cream flavor that you have here? That's my favorite. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think that's a good one. Steph, what about yours?
My favorite ice cream?
Yeah.
It's gotta be cookies and cream.
Ooh.
I'm a big. I used to like chocolate ice cream, but now I feel like it's
now
just
that you
too,
get that with the cookies.
too much. Now I need a little bit of vanilla with some chocolate.
Do they have a good one here, a cold rock kind of one where they mash it in?
Cold Stone?
Cold Stone?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
They definitely have Cold Stone here.
Yeah.
It's kind of
and they have
that's
some other
when
marble slab type of places.
I like cookies and cream when it's like that.
Me too.
When it's kind of more of a fresh cookie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or a cookie dough.
And then they mix it in.
Yeah.
That is good. Okay, well, I think that was everything. Steb, was there anything else that we feel and I feel I'm in the summer vibes.
Yeah.
Now. And I'm
question
really
would-
excited for our members to experience not only these sunglasses, but the brand, and hopefully it's the start of a very
thank
lovely,
you. I mean, we're
nice,
so
fun,
stoked.
cool relationship. And excited for our members because again, I've been a fan for a while, and it's exciting to see you guys grow.
I'm just stoked that we get to work with you guys.
I know, and how awesome that you guys were here.
Yeah, thank you.
So tell our listeners, followers, members where they can follow you if they want to share, or where to, pimp the brand.
They can follow LaSpecs, so LaSpecs with an S on the end.
Yes, got it.
Or my personal one for my Mamma Mia Grease content, which I feel there's a lot of, now I'll have to actually do some Mamma Mia content.
We're going to be holding you to that.
Is Hamish Tame, so Tame.
Amazing.
And then if anybody who's new to the specs wants to know, like, obviously we can get them at FabFitFun, but I got to imagine that there's a website or something.
Yeah, we have a website, lespecs.com. If you wanted to try them on in stores, we are in, there's a great selection in Nordstrom, which they probably have the biggest.
That's where I got mine.
Oh, yeah, cool. They can also buy them from like Revolve and Shopbop and
just the cool places.
But
they should probably just like shop on FabFitFun for the most part.
Yeah, but we also sell on FabFitFun as well.
Yeah.
So, you just set me up for that question.
No.
It's like, be like Elton John and just buy them directly on the website. This has been such a fun conversation. Awesome. I feel like it just
Is that half an hour already?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'm done.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Follow LeSpecs, follow Hamish, and we'll see you next time.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you for tuning in. As promised, the code that I mentioned at the top of the episode is summertime. We want to hear from you guys on social. We want to hear what you thought of today's episode, what you want to hear in the future. Don't forget to connect with us at FabFitFun. We will see you guys next time.